Whoa! Who knew I would make it this far? They hated, they never believed me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I make it look easy. Yeah, Mayweather with the defense. I don't care what a critic got to say. I got them picking up the pieces. That to me, you really playing with your life. I'm about to come and run it all back. I'm the new era, about to snap back. You ain't fitting for it because you all cap like.
Welcome back to the Stuck in My Thoughts podcast. As always, I'm your host, Justin Stuckey. It's the place you want to be to hear a one-of-a-kind POV. And today's point of view comes from a guy who I've known long time. One of the most influential, impactful people in my life specifically. Welcome to the show, Justus Edwards. How you feeling, bro?
What's up, man? I'm feeling good.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Blessed to be on here, man.
It's been a while. We've been talking about this for a minute, and I feel like we talked about this before the camera started rolling. You asked me, who do you decide to be on the show? And the biggest thing that stands out to me is always about the story behind the person. It's not about the amount of followers. It's not about how much clout or how viral content that I can have. I think it's a story and a message that needs to be shared in each podcast that I do, each interview, each conversation, I'd say. And today's conversation I was so excited about. You called me the other day, we got this thing rolling. I was like, okay, bet. Finally sitting down with you, we're gonna get this thing in motion. And the biggest hurdle was like, dang, where are we gonna film at? Yeah. And I felt like the best place out of any place out there to film was right here where it all started. And I know it looks a little different in here, but
they made a lot of changes.
Being back on campus here at Helena High School, where we are, shout out Helena, Alabama. What comes to mind just being back on campus here?
It's just a blessing, just seeing how far you done come with a dream that started in your heart. And like coming in here, being that kid, knowing that he could go far, not knowing where he would go, how he would go, but leaving it in God's hand. And also doing your job to put in the work. It all really started in here, from coming in here 2 times a day, coming in here when I didn't feel like it, coming in here for therapy sessions, coming in here to get my teammates better, to be better on the field, and then being blessed with a scholarship to go on to play in college. It really all started with the work, and that's what I preach. It's just work. That's the brand name. That's my motto. That's what I live by. So coming back here really is humbling, but it's also, it's like, it makes you feel very grateful. Like, I'm glad I stuck with it, because the opportunities that come from that, and it makes you not forget your roots. And it makes you to refocus and realign your vision as you go out and attack, future obstacles. Mm-hmm. That's what it made me feel like.
That, I feel like, is a great testament. I feel like that's the key of it all. But I remember a thing, too, being out here. I remember you ran into me on the field on a punt return. Yeah. That's the biggest thing that comes to mind. Yeah. I would have scored, y'all. But Justus forgot I was on his team and knocked me out. That was one of my favorite memories from football here. Yeah. But you, to me, when you were here, you had a separator, I'd say. One of the biggest things that stood out to me about you was your work ethic. You talked about being here twice a day. I felt like in high school, everybody played sports because it was a cool thing to do. Everybody wanted to wear the jersey on game day, want to wear the letterman, just be a part of the team. But there were a few people, like yourself, like myself, and a few other guys that we got a chance to play with that wanted to go further, wanted to take that dream to the next level. For you, I'm looking at a lot of high school guys these days, and I don't think that they have that mindset.
Same mentality.
Yeah, what was your mindset as you approach? I don't want to just have my career end here in high school. I wanted to continue to go on to the next level.
So my approach with that really all stemmed from my teacher, my faith, and also seeing my mom struggle with her kidney. It was times where she almost died, man, but she was teaching me faith in that moment. And literally, man, I would come in here and I would just push off that steam. I had a focus. I need to go forward with this. I need to take care of my family. I need to get a degree, and I don't want my parents to pay for it. And this was my opportunity that I had. When I came in, I was super small, but I had a big heart. And it became a passion for me to just come in here and to escape from my reality at home. Seeing her struggle, seeing her never quit, really just built that dog up inside of me. It was like, okay, I can handle this. I can take this far. So let me just lock in and sacrifice that time. It was times I'd be coming in the morning, times I'd come, go run hills before practice, times I'd come, back in here after practice to try to work out. And it just really kind of numbed that pain that was inside of me, but also strengthened my faith. And then I started seeing the results from it, and it started becoming really addicted. And then when I started seeing that transfer to the field and just other levels in life, I became unstoppable, man. And they even carried on in college.
Yeah. Talk about carrying on to college. Got a chance to play at the next level. Barry College. Shout out to the Vikings.
Yeah, the Vikings.
Shout out to the Vikings.
Go Vikings.
And immediate impact, like that's a great opportunity. I don't think people realize a small percentage of high school athletes that go on to play at the next level in general. Right. So that's a blessing in itself. But number one, not caring about the level. I feel like a lot of players these days and athletes get caught up in, I want to go D1. Yeah. No, you need to go where they're going to let you play. And you can be able to enjoy the game that you love. And I think that's the biggest key. And you ran with that.
Yeah.
Going and being able to separate yourself from Helena, Alabama, and you have to remake a name for yourself. What was that approach going into college where you were like, okay, I'm the new guy, but I know what impact I can make?
So that impact, man, it honestly just carried over as soon as I got on campus. Because I got there early because I was on the Gator Opportunity Scholarship. And so we had to get there like in June. And we had to work a job all day, then we'll have to go and train. But I immediately found like my niche in there. I found a guy named Tristan Klein, and he almost looked like Thor, I'm not gonna lie. The dude was jacked, but he had a work ethic like mine. And I just soaked it up. I just ran to him. I was like, look, I need to be with you. I need to train with you. And as I started doing that, people started realizing like, this bro really different. Some thought I was crazy, but like I knew that what I was on, I wanted to play. I wanted to get on that field because I knew I could make an impact. And then from there, we started training. And then a group of guys, it was 4 group of guys with me that was training. One is currently in the NFL, now play for the Titans, so we just latched on together.
Mason?
Mason Kinsey. We went off this scripture, Proverbs 14:23, that said, all hard work leads to profit, but mere talks only leads to poverty. And man, we would go in there and we would work out, we would go out and run, we would go to work, we would do our thing, and we just grew close and grew that bond. And as we became the leaders, it really just transferred to the team. They just took on that. But my dad always taught me, like, always hustle, always be the first man in there, be the last one out, always make sure you running, doing what you need to do, staying on top, because it doesn't matter your age or anything. The work is just going to separate you. And so I took that and ran with it, man, and it got me far. I was on the field the first year on special teams, and I was second team free safety, and then I had broke the starting lineup my sophomore year. But really, I would say the transfer from college, from high school to college, is really just learning the playbook. Because you can... Oh, yeah,
I remember you telling about it studying.
You can have the talent, but bro, it's so many checks, it's so many things you gotta do, all in a matter of like 5 seconds. Like, and you gotta be in sequence with the defense and knowing your role. So I had to learn how to study my role, how to become a better student of the game, and really learn how to study film, how to watch, how to go to my coach's office and, soak up that, and then still had my same work ethic, still had my same athleticism, but it just made me a better player. It made the game slow down for me, so I want to be all over the place.
Yeah, and I feel like this is a good transition and segue to why we're here. When you're born, when you're going through your life, you don't know what the purpose might be. You don't know how your story is going to play out. And I think it's safe to say you didn't see this challenge coming. But when you hear the date, September 22nd, 2018, what comes to mind?
What comes to mind, man, is that I left it out there all on the field. I ain't had no regrets. What also comes to mind is to keep going. Like, your life doesn't end there. Also, a lot of emotions come to mind that took me time to deal with over the period of time, because I was so used to doing therapy that I just felt like I didn't have time to manage those emotions. Legacy really comes to mind. I remember that day approaching that game, my dad, he called me, he told me, he said, man, this is gonna be the best game of your career. And I'm thinking that he's talking about stat line sheets, all of that. And never in a million years would I think that specific game or that play would impact or have an impact on a lot of people's faith. help people get over some things that they thought they never may have done. But really, it has strengthened me because it has allowed me what was on the inside of me to come out to the world and make an impact. And I remember at 6 years old, God told me I would help people. I didn't know how I would help people, but just by being myself every day and trying to get back, it has helped the nation, man. So all glory to God, bro.
For sure. And for our viewers and listeners out there that don't know what that date symbolizes, you were out there on the field doing what you do and being a beast.
For sure.
Hard hitter. And a routine play turns into a life-changing moment.
Yeah.
You know, you have a hit, you roll over, then you realize you can't move at that point. And your team comes out, the ambulances come out, and we've heard the story, and I think it's so impactful. The first thing you tell your coach is, "Guys got me." Yeah. You know, I think that takes such courage and faith and belief in somebody who doesn't know what's going on at the moment, to have that type of stronghold and belief in that God's got everything under control. I just want to applaud you for that. At what point did you realize the severity of the injury?
I ain't gonna lie, bro, it was years later. And it may sound crazy. That's what kept me going. I was numb to it for years. I was numb. It just wasn't real to me. I refused to accept it in my mind. And I feel like that's what kept me going. You know, I felt like I put in all this work. I was like, it ain't no way in the world. My life is just, this can't be it for me. This may be it for somebody else, but not me. Mm-hmm. You know, I wasn't never mad at God and nothing like that. I didn't even ask God why. It was just, all right, it's time to strap on your boots. Let's go. And when I got in the ambulance, I called my mom and I told her, I said, you know, I've been injured. You know, I can't move or feel anything from my waist down. But don't worry, drive the speed limit, God has got me. I'm gonna be fine, I'm coming back on this field. And you know, we're faith-driven people. So it didn't hit me, man, until like, I say a couple years later, where it really like sat down and I was like, okay. It started hitting me as I wasn't able to go back and play football. Like slowly years started passing. I was like, okay, all right, I gotta keep moving. Cause my goal was like, bro, I wasn't even worried about myself. I was worried about the team. I was worried about the win because we need to get that win. Mm-hmm. And I was like, you know, what's the score to the game? I was worried about other people in the ICU or emergency room. And I was like, okay. And then when they came in and told me, you know, they told me that you had severed your spine and that you only had a 20% chance of walking again. I immediately was like, no, that's not right. Like, go back and take another look. I told him I'm walking. But the thing about it, God speaks to my dad. And on the way up from Kentucky, it was a 6-hour drive. On the way up from Kentucky, God was just telling him it's a bruise. And he was screaming, he was saying, no, it's just a bruise. And it ended up being a bruised spinal cord. And so, you know, me, I'm thinking, okay, this is my first surgery I ever had. I was a little nervous, but I ain't really let nobody see it. Mm-hmm. I called one of my teammates. I was like, look, bro, I'm gonna be good. He was like, you gonna be straight, you know. And so I'm thinking, like, when I wake up, everything will be straight. I'm gonna go to therapy. I'm gonna be able to feel again. I'm gonna be able to move. And it wasn't none of that. But I still had my faith. I knew, like, my mind, like when I was in here training, I was building my mind up for moments like that, you know, and nobody can ever prepare for that. But it's like after you've been through so much in your life over the years, you've seen so much, you kind of build a mental stamina to like where nothing can break you. And you building up your spirit. And so all the times I seen my mom and seeing all the difficulties she was going through, I felt that I was in class. And now it was time for me to take my test, the test of faith. I know that we can't go through life all smooth, and I know that something's gonna happen and we have to be prepared, you know? So I felt like I was prepared, and I felt like I played it cool, but I feel like that next day, after surgery, I feel like my body started catching up to what actually happened. Like I was having panic attacks, couldn't sleep, I couldn't talk, I was tossing and turning. But then the peace of God was just all over me, bro, because he literally was close to me, like closer than ever before. Like I knew it was him. And that's how I had that much peace. It would be times I just turn on the TV 3 o'clock at night and everybody in the room sleep, and it's Joel Osteen on the hospital TV. He's talking about this girl that couldn't walk, and she walks on stage, and I'm boo-hooing in the bed crying. Like, it'll be time I open the Bible, it turns to a scripture talking about the paralytic walking. I'm like, stuff I can't explain. And it just kept happening. And I was like, okay, God, I know you with me, so I'm not even gonna trip out.
Yeah, I like to hear that. And it's good to hear the honesty and the transparency. And you said it took you years to really get the realization that I'm not gonna be out there in that field. Are you at peace with not
I'm
playing
at peace with it now. There are times I still have my days. You can ask my wife, my family. There are times I have my days where I'm down, where I cry, like I'm boo-hooing. And then there's times where I'm thankful. As crazy as it sounds, times I'm thankful for the injury, like because of the man that made me. Now, do I like it every day, what I go through? No. But if some of those things, if that didn't happen, I probably would never met my wife. If that didn't happen, like, I probably would have never been on TV. Like, if that stuff didn't happen, the world wouldn't have had an opportunity to see God work a miracle. And my prayer in the hospital was like, God, show these people through me that you are real. Because I believe you. It's like, I know you not go, you ain't get me this far. I done seen you too many times come through. It's like now I have no choice but to believe you, because you the only thing and only person that can get me out of this. So I feel like some days I do hit rock bottom. Some days I felt like I was going insane. Some days I didn't feel nothing. Some days I'm locked in, you know, and I give myself that grace, you know, some days when I'm not okay. And some days I have to push myself and others have to push me. I feel like it's about your village that's around you, because you can't do it alone. Mm-hmm. And that has shown me like you really need help, because I was so used to being independent, and this forced me to be dependent. But I still wanted to be as independent as I could. So I used to be grateful for the small things, like tying my shoe, putting my shoe on. That was the first down for me. Getting out that back brace was the first down for me. Like, I even told my sisters then to bring my weights up to the hospital. Like, all that stuff was keeping me locked in at that moment. But there are times I do have my moments where I'm like, all right, but then I shake myself. I'm like, this ain't it. You can't stay here. You got to keep going. And the way I do that, I look at how far I done came, and I looked at those moments where when I knew all I had was faith, and I saw God come through. Maybe I'm not where I want to be, but I doggone sure ain't where I was.
Yeah,
so
that's about right there.
Yeah.
You mentioned if this didn't happen, you weren't on TV, don't meet your wife, and this was one of the things I had prepared to say, but you've been featured on ESPN, Today Show, Good Day Alabama,
Yeah.
Fox, everything. And as impactful as that is, and getting to people to see you in the limelight and hear about your story, hear about your journey, all those people in the networks aren't with you on a day-to-day. And you kind of touched on this, but how important is that circle, that smaller circle around you as you're going through?
Yeah, they're the ones that feeding the vision, man. Like, my mom, she ain't never let me let up. It was some days I was like, man, she's just a bulldog when it comes to faith, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it was times she would just keep me going. Like, when it came to, like, it's like before I got married, like, and stuff like that, it was like, she'll keep me. She just didn't give up, bro. Like, when it came to getting what I needed, when it came to pushing me, my dad was there. Like, we literally would go to the gym. Like, every day I was doing something, I was moving. And that circle, like, giving caregivers, you know. And then when I got married, like, that was a whole new blessing for me. It was just like, okay, I don't have to do everything by myself. And I have someone that sees me and that gets me and loves me just for me. Like, they see my heart. And it was times where, man, I didn't even think I could get married or think I could date again, you know, because I'm so used to being a gentleman and being like, it was just a whirlwind, like going from being that guy to being literally in a hospital bed in diapers, peeing on yourself, like not being able to control it. It was like, whoa. And that's why you can't find your identity in those things. So I say like having that circle around me, having them continue to push faith in me in the times where I was low, but then also helping me celebrate those wins, having my dad there, always being someone to talk to, even having outside sources like coaches and even Shazier, him helping me, man, like being able to have somebody to talk to where they can only understand what I went through and see it. It was just like, okay, it takes a village, and that encouraged me to go out and help more people, because it was like, you really can't get through this alone.
Yeah, you bring up the Ryan Shazier thing. This was, man, I thought I was a sophomore. I was a freshman or sophomore at this point in college.
20.
It was before
21.
COVID. Or was it 21?
It was 19. It was
19.
Yeah.
And so, first off, we've heard Ryan Shazier's story. He was animal on the football field.
Yeah, he was a dog.
Had a spinal cord injury. How did you two even get in contact?
That's crazy. That's another God's story. Like, I'm telling you, it was so much stuff that was happening. That scripture true when it say God is near and close to the brokenhearted. He close, man. Like, he the real OG. I don't just put it like that. Like,
Shout out.
He not gonna let you go through something and just leave you hanging out there, even if it feel like it. Like, he's there. And I have to remind myself, like, it was times I'd be in a hospital bed, and around that time, I think Ryan was like going pretty viral. He was walking on the field and stuff like that. And I ain't talked to nobody. Like, I was literally just talking to God. Like, I was like, man, I want to know his story. Like, I want to know, like, you know, what happened to him. Because I remember seeing the game, but I ain't really go too much into the story. And literally, like, a couple days I was at Encompass Health, and I got a phone call in the middle of therapy. He was like, this Ryan Shazier. And I don't usually freak out when it comes to people, but like, this is somebody that been in the NFL, somewhere I wanted to go, someone that's been through what I've been through, and like was willing to talk to me. I was freaking out, bro. And I was in there with a lot of older people, so I'm in there screaming like, y'all know this is a 2-time Pro Bowler, like, bro, like, I'm like, man. And so how that ended up happening, my high school roommate, Daniel, he worked because we had to work on campus at Berry College. He worked in the office with a lady there, and her husband, I think her husband was a scout for the Steelers, or he knew a scout for the Steelers. And it was so many people that knew about it. They were tweeting out everything, just trying to get people to reach out to me, but he ended up reaching back, and he was like, man, you know, this Ryan Shazier, you know, but he wasn't even on like, no, I'm a superstar type vibe. He was like, man, one of the things that he told me was like, you gonna be okay, bro. And that stuck with me. Like, he was like, anytime you need to reach out to me, call me. I'll talk to you. And it would be times we'll be on the phone for an hour. And those talks really helped me, because I'm like, man, like, this is in the flesh. Like, God has given me an example, or just someone to look to. And as much as he was helping me, I was helping him. Because like, he couldn't really talk about certain things to everybody that really understood. And I felt like he saw a lot of himself in me. And during our conversations, man, we had some great conversations where I would send him my updates all the time, just on me and therapy and stuff. He would always encourage me, tell me to keep going. And so that's how that whole relationship came to be.
Yeah. And that brings me to where, obviously, I've been a believer. My audience knows I've been a believer my whole life. And you always grow up hearing, you walk by faith and not by sight.
Yeah.
And I feel like for me, this was an opportunity to really see that in motion, but also get a chance to have the sight moment.
Yeah.
And this is a story, I don't even know if I've shared this on camera ever, but I was on fall break, and I went out of town to Pennsylvania to go visit my boy Ben. And we decided to go down to Pittsburgh for the day. And I was eating, and I took a picture and posted on my story. And Justus slides up and was like, "You in Pittsburgh?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm in Pittsburgh. What's up?" He was like, "I'm here too." I was like, "What?" And he was like, "Yeah, I'm, coming up here." And the way you texted it made it seem like you were preparing to have surgery, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, "Bet, I'm gonna come see you." Finish my food, head up to the hospital. Pittsburgh has some weird roads. I felt like I was driving around forever. Yeah. Finally get up there. Me and Ben walk in there, see you in the hospital bed, and we're talking. And then all of a sudden, you start smiling at me. And I'm like, "What are you smiling about? What are you so giddy about?" And I'm looking at you, and then at the corner of my eye, you're just moving your legs. And I'm like, what in the world? And that was the thing for me. You hear people say they believe certain things. People can say, "Oh, man, you're going to get right. You're going to get better, this, and that." But I feel like for me, man, that was an opportunity for God to show me what he really can do.
Yeah.
And for me, like you said, "Lord, let me be an instrument that people see you and believe in you." And I think for me, somebody who practices their faith full out all the time, not a perfect person at all, for me, that was an opportunity to never doubt God. Like, that was an opportunity for me to see, like, no matter what man tries to tell you, no matter what you hear about on the daily, man, like, God can do more than we can fathom. And for me, bro, being in that hospital room, I was like, at one point, I wanted to say no way, but then I wanted to say God did. Because, like, bro, like, for me, bro, I just felt like God had that for a reason. Yeah. Why am I in Pittsburgh? Why are you in Pittsburgh? Why are we both there at the same time? For the opportunity, like, I don't want to say this in a way that, like, throws stuff to me, but I've gotten the blessing opportunity to be one of the day ones. Yeah. But even before the injury, but since the injury. And
seeing everything.
But I felt honored to be there in that moment. And, like, this ain't got nothing, it has something to do with the podcast, but, like, I wanted to share that story because for me, that was a thing of, like, don't ever question what God can do.
Yeah, man.
Like, bro, I replay that all the time. I was like, "Why are you smiling?" And then because going in there, it's a somber moment. You don't know what to expect. First of all, I didn't know you had the surgery already, too. That kind of threw me off. Yeah. And I was like, what is going on? And so, honestly, bro, like, I want to tell the Lord thank you, but thank you for just letting me be a part of the circle. Like, you don't know how much that helped impact me as I continue to go in my life and understanding that, man, God can use people in extraordinary ways, in ways that we don't think might be extraordinary, but as things play out, you look back and be like, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, nobody but God.
Yeah.
And it was crazy, man. Like you said, like, you were there. I was talking to Jeremy about this. I was like, he was there when I first got injured. Like, he came to the house. He saw me there lifting weights with my dad in the chair. I couldn't really move my legs. But still, like, seeing that faith, still having that same attitude as coming in here, working out, like, it didn't change me. And I vowed to never let it change me. And I feel like the one thing that really hit me was seeing my parents cry in that hospital bed, seeing my family cry, and they wanted to help me, but they couldn't do nothing but pray. And that just, boy, that put a fire in me, bro. Like, it was just like, all right, I'm here with it. If anybody can do it, it's me. And if ain't nobody else even did it, I'm gonna be the first one. And that was just it. I didn't care what nobody said. I didn't care what nobody, I was about business. Cause I was like, the devil touched me. Like, I was pissed. You go touch me, I'm gonna give you a reason to never ever touch me again. Like, I'm truly one of God's kids. Like, I was sent here for a purpose. And it was just like, okay, it's game time. Like, but this time you in the game for your life. You in the game for everything. And it was like having all my dreams of the NFL. Like, I was just like, I can't just let that go away. Like, nah, bro. Like, I don't know how this gonna happen, but it's gonna happen. And I can't tell you when, I can't tell you how. And then when my mom and my dad was there, we locked in, we prayed, and that was it. And from there, we just started a movement. And like it started catching like wildfire. And I feel like some people catch on, the people that knew me, they knew like, this ain't fit to be nothing for him.
Yeah.
But like I feel like some people had to see results to be like, oh snap, like he just ain't letting up. And I wanted to show the process. Like I wanted to show people the ugly. I wanted to show, cause I knew like once it go, it's gonna go, and it's really gonna touch people. Like, cause people need to see that. Like they need to see where something. The best position to be in is where a human can not do nothing, but God. It has to be God. And this was one of those stories where it was like God had to do this. And that's how God wanted, because he don't want no man to take credit for his glory. And so we have those people, and you don't even know, bro. Like sometimes I'll be chilling on that couch, sitting there for 3 hours trying to move my feet, trying to move my legs, and it wouldn't move, and I get a Snapchat message of Stuckey, like, keep grinding today. And that stuff would go far, bro. I felt lonely. I felt like only medicine I had was God and the grind, reading my Bible and grinding. Mm-hmm. And it was like that for a couple years before I had met my wife. Then she was the person that I could really open up to. And so like when you came up there, man, even how that got connected, man, it was just like, it's crazy because, being in a room with these people that are like, you ask yourself, how did I get here? Like, it's almost like what in the world? Not me, like, huh? Like, I'm seeing Ryan walk in the room, and that's just like, it's possible, man. Like, he's no different than you. I'm surrounded by some of the top doctors. I'm talking about, like, that have been on movies, like, that. And the first thing he said, he quoted the scripture when he walked in, was Isaiah 40. It was about the scripture with the eagle.
Yeah, soaring wings like eagles.
Yeah, they're soaring wings like eagles. And man, it was just like some out of a dream, bro. But the thing about it, like God was showing me in dreams before it happened. So it didn't really surprise me. Mm-hmm. And then the work ethic, faith, really is a action word. So at times when I'm down, I check my faith, like, where is your faith? Are you acting on your vision? And so when they came in the room, it was just like every full circle moment. I had so many people asking me questions, like from the time I woke up. It was crazy, bro. Like, it was wild. Like, all the prayers came to reality. Seeing that confession in my phone came to reality. Like, putting all the hours, all the tears, everything, it was just like, all right. But it was still a grind. It was like, all right, you back at square one again. You got to learn how to do this. You can do this. Like, you can lift your leg, but you got to learn how to do this. And when they came in the room, and they turned on everything in my body, the guy that was there with the technology, his mouth would just drop. He was like it was crazy, cuz. And I was like, yeah. It was like an opportunity for me to brag on God, because I'm like, I told y'all. Like, I'm like, I told y'all my God don't play about me, man. Like, just put your belief in it. It don't matter. Like, but I was so grateful that I kept going. I was so grateful that I didn't allow myself to give up. And the people around me didn't allow myself to give up. I was so grateful. And I really wanted to repay the people that believed in me, like that prayed for me, that gave to the GoFundMe. I was like, I gotta figure out a way how to repay these people, because it's like, and it was times like I would want to like not do my stuff, and I would be like, it's people out here counting on you, that's believing in you. Like, you can't go out like that. You can't go out like that. And I just kept going, man. And as I kept going, the blessings just kept getting bigger. So from that moment, I ended up leaving from Pitt, came down here, and I kind of got a glance of like how life would be, but I wasn't really sure. Like, man, like when I tell you my life turned into a bunch of questions, and like it just changed. When everything went out on the media, and I just kind of wanted to get to a quiet place where I could talk to God, like where I could just be by myself and I just stay focused. 'Cause I ain't want none of that to get me off of my pivot. And I just stayed working, man. The work is what helped me to stay focused. Like, I tried a therapist, it didn't work. I was like, this person don't know nothing about me. It's like they giving me some books and stuff. Not saying that therapy don't work. You need to go to therapy, but it just didn't work for me. And so my therapy was literally getting up every day and attacking that brick wall till it falls. I was just like, I'm here just like you here. I'm literally like talking to myself like, all right, let's see what we can do. All right, right leg, you moving. Toes, you moving. Like, and it was times like the same doctors that told me that I couldn't do it, I was like, call them back in the room. I was like, look, I'm moving. It's like, look, don't doubt it. Like, don't doubt faith. Like, believe. And it was just we was in the hospital room. We was able to help so many people because like you could feel the presence of God in there. It was just like, and my mom would not let nobody around me that did not believe in God. Like, that wasn't on that. Like, I applaud her. Like, you see me, but she most of the reason because she didn't let me give up, man. And so once I caught on to that, and once I started really like unlocking these things in my mind, I started using that as motivation for like other things in life. It's like, if you can do this, gang, you can definitely do X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
You know, like you literally coming back from something that people said wasn't possible. And then I had to be careful because I was like, don't get too ahead of yourself. The mission ain't complete. You feel what I'm saying? So it's always a chase of how can I get better today? How can I get better today? Whether that's being a better husband, you know, in the future, I'll be a better father. I just used it to help me make me a better person. I embraced it. I embraced the hardship, everything that came with it. And I'm like, I'm not leaving this earth without this. And that was just the mentality.
The mentality takes you farther than anything else. I've seen you so many times say on your Instagram captions, it's the mindset that drives you more than anything. The 14 strong bracelet, I've had this for a minute too, so I appreciate you giving this to me. One thing that I've enjoyed about watching you continue to grow and develop is, number one, you didn't let this slow you down, but you embarked on new ventures. You got into the public speaking side of things. You've also got into your own clothing line side of things.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, with sports, that drive it took to be a college athlete, mixed with the battle and the grind it took to get through this process, how are you incorporating that into the everyday life of things, especially with the clothing line? Because I think that's really cool.
Yeah, that's dope. So really with the clothing line, man, I started it in college. Jus Work Apparel. Everybody out there watching, give me a follow.
Jus Work Apparel, check
2
them
underscores, Jus Work Apparel on Instagram. That started in college. Really, it was like, I wanted this to go further than just me. Like I want to leave a legacy, and my legacy is faith. And I was like, man, I could really create something that could touch people in this world. They could be wearing a whole store and they don't even know it, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, I can really like go all around the world with this. And so it really just started with me wanting to spread faith and dedication to people. And that's what the brand is backed up by, having faith and dedication, turning impossibilities to possibilities. And the backup scripture for it is Proverbs 14:23. So I just started with shirts, and I wasn't sure if anybody would buy it. But I started with It's Just Work, and I had a lion symbol.
I got me one.
Yeah, he most definitely do. And I was getting them out of California. I didn't know nothing about nothing when it came to clothes, but I knew I was an artist. Like I knew I was good at art, and I knew I had a style of fashion, and I knew I had a message to push that I really want people to feel my spirit when they wore my clothes. And so I started with that, and I was selling the shirts for like $25. And I was like, man, ain't nobody gonna buy these shirts. And everybody was buying them. I'm talking about like, if you got a clothing brand, getting started on the college campus is definitely the right move because everybody was buying them. Like, I gotta get more shirts. And so from there, it ended up, I think my first big moment was like, wow, I can kind of do this. Well, I had like an interview with Hibbett's, and I took all my stuff there, but I wasn't as ready as I thought I was in that moment because I didn't know nothing about manufacturing. I didn't know nothing about getting stuff in, but I was literally getting stuff off Amazon and like making it, like piecing them together, like, and then like trying to push it. But I had a passion that just wouldn't die. But I also, making the clothes, it was like I found this freedom that was dead for a long time. I found this like wake up moment of like, okay, because I was so used to just doing physical therapy, I feel like a robot sometimes. And then I used to draw a lot, and I was like, okay, I thought that was gone. I was like, that's going back in high school. But then it started coming back up, and it wouldn't leave. Like, it kept knocking. And I was like, I would literally stay up all night doing this, and I felt like I only spent a couple seconds there. I fell in love with it, of just creating. And then having someone to fool with your vision and actually wear it and actually seeing it, it was like, wow, and people actually wanted it. So I kept going with it. And I was like, okay, I can make something out of this. So then from there, I came out with some varsity jackets, and I did my first photo shoot. I did not know what I was doing, but I knew, okay, we can get some people, we can put them in the clothes, they gonna model them. And from there, I just kept growing. I kept using it as a journey of like, okay, if I stay focused on this, I can really take this far, and the message of It's Just Work can be pushed way further than just me. And so I started creating designs. It would just come to me. Like, I'd be like just chilling, and I could see it. Like literally like a picture, I see it, and I had to go get some paper, write it down. I was like, wow, this is burning a real fire in me. So I just kept going, man. And then from there, I had my first really viral drop, the Untamed piece, and that opened a lot of doors for me. That helped me get in the Atlanta streetwear market. That was featured in the Hibbett Sports article.
It's Hibbett Official now.
Yeah, Hibbett Official, my
shout
bad.
Out Hibbett.
Yeah, shout out Hibbett. And then just a lot of, and that's where I really like first got in contact with manufacturers and started really learning the game behind it. And then I got a mentor from there. And it has been growing ever since. Like some people we got it to, Mason, he on board. It was featured on the Titus
Lil
page.
Yachty was over there.
Lil Yachty.
Yeah.
We did one with Unfazed. We took a picture with DDG not too long ago. Like, it's crazy because like, it was at a time and point where I didn't think I could sell a shirt for $25, and now I'm selling, not that the price mattered, but like, it was like, just seeing that growth. Now pieces are selling for $150. Now stores are hitting me up and saying like, yo, I want to buy some bulks off of you. Like, those opportunities are really growing as long as you just keep going. And that's the whole message. I feel like when I go into these pop-ups and these places, they're like, man, this dude in a wheelchair, and he handling his business. He not letting that stop him, and he popping it, man. And his stuff is original. That's what I feel like. But they don't know that it comes from an actual or original place. And I feel like I never give up on it because it's spreading my story. It's me. I put my all into that. And so now I do it with my wife. And so that has been amazing. We still currently figuring out things in different roles, but I can see it going super far. And just to see the look on people's faces when they see the piece, they be like, I need that. Like, that makes me feel good. Or if I'm going outside and I see somebody wearing a brand, they don't even know that I created it. It's like, wow. But really, when I get a chance to sit down and talk to them and just explain the story behind it, that I feel like that puts the stamp on it.
Yeah, that's major. If anything, I think it's so cool to, like you said, it was that constant knocking of like, no, this is something I did in high school, but no, like sometimes the Lord will, if you ain't gonna listen, he gonna knock down that door and put it right in front of you. And so I think it's cool to see how much it's grown, the obedience that you had to do it mixed with the passion, and now you can see where it goes. And so continue to stay on that mission, though, for
I
sure.
got to.
And a few more questions for you. For me, I always have, this is why it's called Stuck in My Thoughts. I have a lot of thoughts, especially seeing people go through their process. And so for you, what is the biggest thing that you learned about yourself as you have gone through the process?
The biggest thing I've learned about myself is that, let's see, that's a great question that I have to think on. I say, I feel like I haven't completely learned myself, but I feel like I learned myself better going through this. To always be grateful, never take anything for granted, to stay resilient beyond anything, like knowing that you're the only person that can stop you. Those mental barriers, that internal voice is the only thing that's in the way. And the more that you push the right things in you, the more that you train your mental muscle and train your discipline, the better your life will be. It's almost like choose to suffer now and then enjoy your fruits later. But it's like, don't get too comfortable with how far you come. Complete the mission. I feel like one thing I learned about myself is like, I got to keep going. Like, I gotta finish the mission. Like God. And another thing I learned about myself is like, there is a specific calling on my life that is bigger than me. You know, it was times where I thought it was just me, or it was all about me, and none of this was never about me, you know. And when I was younger, I used to pray to God to make me great, and I never knew it would come in this way. Never wouldn't imagine. It's just like, I love football, I love helping people, I love motivating people, but I feel like I was sent here to motivate a nation. Like, I really do. I feel like I've learned to give myself more grace, to be patient in the process of developing great things in your life, but staying consistent through every emotion, through every feeling. I feel like that's what I've learned about myself, man. And that confidence, I had to learn how to rebuild that confidence back up to like, I'm still the same person. I'm still in there. I'm still Justus, a great person, regardless of what happened to me. And just making sure that I keep my spirit going. I feel like that's what I've learned about myself.
And at what point did you get that confidence? Because you mentioned earlier that you were used to being that guy.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, I'm in a wheelchair and I don't maybe feel like that guy. How did you find that confidence to where I'm gonna go out freely, I'm gonna be in public, I'm gonna go speak to people? Like, how did you find that?
How did I find that? I felt like I was always in the Bible, but I felt like it took a minute, man. Like, I felt like it was times where talking to God, but also my mom would tell me like, yo, you just sitting down, bro. Like, you still the same person. And then my wife would help me, bro. Like, at the time she wasn't my wife, she would talk to me like, man, because I really didn't see what she saw in me. Like, I was like, bro, what you want with me? Like, you feel me? But it was everything, like, she saw in me. And I remember at one time, like, I used to be very insecure about my legs. I was like, bro, my legs so small. Like, I'm used to having muscle. And it was like, she was like, bro, nothing wrong with your legs. I'm like, you good. I'm like, no, this ain't me, bro. And it was times I look back at videos, I'd be like, bro, what actually happened was one year I wasn't able to kick out my leg at all. Something happened. The doctors couldn't even figure it out or nothing. And all of my muscle went away. And I started looking back at those videos, and I was like, you actually was good. Like, and this is something I talked to her about, like, we don't see how blessed we are sometimes until we out of the picture. Like, but just talking to myself, you know, in the mirror, telling myself, like, you know, I'm still that guy, I'm still here, building up those inner thoughts and constantly. And then sometimes just hopping out there, just going with the flow, that built my confidence as I kept going. I kept seeing myself get better. I was like, okay, there's nothing that can stop me. Like, I'm him. Like, keep going, gang. Like, you him for sure. You gotta keep going.
Him, I like that. I like that, bro. And it's just, man, it's so encouraging and so inspirational to see that, because like you said, you can't really see it till you're out of the picture. And so sometimes the Lord uses people for you to be able to see the picture. And so I can appreciate everything that you stand for, everything that you've been able to display, not only in your pursuit of getting back to walking, because we know that's on the way, just a matter of time, but just how you carry yourself throughout your daily life. And there's times where you don't think it matters or nobody's paying attention. Those are the times when everybody's paying attention. So if you ever feel like what you're posting or what you're doing doesn't matter, throw that immediately out the window, because it definitely does. And people, it inspires me, because times I think about when I was doing college athletics, you talked about the gratitude and appreciation. I gained a certain sense of appreciation being that me and you were going through the trenches together in this weight room out there on the track, and understanding, you know, the Lord said that it's not my friend's time to do that now. He can't do that right now. You can. Don't coast. Don't cheat the game. Don't feel sorry for yourself. Don't do that. And those are all things that I gained an appreciation from watching you continue to grind. Like you said, you'd be sitting there for a couple hours, I can't move anything, but then you'll get a text from me. Vice versa, I may be feeling sorry for myself, or I know I got to do something, maybe not feel like doing it, then I'll see one of your videos come up on my timeline. Or you'll text me, and I'm like, bro, there's no way I can not give it my all, because I know you are. And that's just that iron sharpens iron thing. And so I got to end the episode with this right here. The name of the show is called Stuck in My Thoughts. Everybody that comes on, I ask them, what do you get stuck in your thoughts about?
What do I get stuck in my thoughts about? That's a great question. I want to leave a legacy. I want to be great, bro. That's what I get stuck in my thoughts about. Like, I feel like I'm never satisfied until the whole world knows it's just work. Like, until God, like, people know Jesus. Like, when they see me, like, they see Jesus. They see what he can do. Like, until I'm able to help somebody else get out of a chair and walk again. That's what be in my mind, bro. Like, I gotta finish this mission. That's what's stuck in my thought.
Ain't nothing much more to say, bro. I appreciate you taking the time.
For sure.
This has been a long time coming. I was so excited about this episode, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. Please make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Continue to follow our journey on Stuck in My Thoughts. Continue to follow Justus's journey throughout his life. Great inspiration, and we hope you've been inspired by this episode. We out.
Yes, sir.
Whoa. Who knew I would make it this far? They hated, they never believed me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I make it look easy. Yeah.